Well, the Lands and Natural Resources Minister, Samuel Jinapor, is back in the Western region for the second time in 1 week. Mr. Jinapor says they need the support of the security agencies more than ever to help clamp down on all illegalities perpetrated by people against our natural resources.
Be applied, and they must be applied fully. There should be no consideration for whoever flouts the law, whether you are an MPP member or you are an NDC member, or you are this or you are that. There should be absolutely no regard for persons and their coloration or their positions in our society. Should be enforced, the law should be enforced without fear or favor. And that has been communicated clearly to the Regional Security Council. I'm very happy with the assurances that the Regional Security Council have given that they are responsible for the security component of this fight, and they are required to enforce the laws and are required to enforce all the regulations, and they are determined to do so without fear or favor. Illegal small scale mining was very much on the agenda. The Western region is highly endowed with the natural resources of our country, and it's just proper that the instructions given to me by the President of the Republic to travel across the country to see at first hand the utilization of the natural resources of our country. I have to come to the Western region because a lot of natural resources, and I've been here and I'm very happy. The Western Regional Ministerial began the fight, taking the bull by the horn, and I believe most of you have seen the report of the work he's doing himself and the Regional Security Council, how to sanitize and regularize the...
We're talking to small-scale miners to find out their thoughts, but my correspondent, our correspondent Natalia Kwanza, is with the minister. She has joined me with more. Hello, Ina. We understand the minister has been meeting with the Regional Security Council behind closed doors. What have you picked up?
Yes, Gifty. The minister has been speaking to the RESEC, which the Western Regional Minister is the chairperson, urging that there is the need for them to go on the field and enforce the laws when it comes to illegalities on our natural resources. He has told them that now it is their mandate. They shouldn't wait for them to come from Accra. They have given the powers to them as a regional coordinating or regional security council to enforce every law. They shouldn't respect party colors or anyone involved. If it is wrong, it is wrong. So Gifty, from there, he went to see the Omahine of his Kaduketan, Nana Kobnan Ketia, who told him that the fight against illegal mining would be fought very well if he, as a minister, is ready to fight without considering party colors or favoring anyone. Nana Kobnan Ketia also went ahead to say that if he is able to do that, he doesn't mind as a chief putting down his chieftaincy and then supporting him to become the next president. Because if he's able to fight this fight, that is when Ghanaians will trust him, and then his ability to fight illegalities in connection to natural resources would make Ghanaians trust the NPP government again, and then perhaps give them another nod in the next election.
Ina, what kind of response is this trip getting from people who live in this area, people who have had to live with this menace, for the community people and those who mine there themselves? If you have had any of these reactions coming up, can you share it with us?
Well, Gifty, for now, we don't have any reaction, but just like you just read, last week he was in the region together with the Minister of Sanitation and Water Resources. And then last week, residents had complained for past 3 weeks, Secondary Takrade had to go on shortage of water. Not only Secondary Takrade, when you go to Takwa, when you go to Amenfi West, Amenfi East, last week, for instance, the regional minister seized 16 excavators from a particular concession, and this is troubling to the residents here. Though for now they haven't spoken, but I am speaking from last week, some of the concerns being raised. When you look at water in the Western region, it is becoming turbid. The turbidity is going higher and higher each and every time. So these are some of the concerns. We don't have water. Cocoa farmers keep on losing their cocoa lands. And yes, some of them give it willingly out, but later when they see their land, they turn off. get devastated as what these illegal miners are doing. The minister says he's not only here for illegal mining, but deforestation as well.
Well, Ina, what next does he do apart from meeting with the head of the Sikado Kitan traditional area?
Well, Gifty, right now he's meeting with the forestry department, and he has told them that, for instance, rosewood, when they seize rosewood, he does not expect that the authorities here would also go back and auction it to those people they seize it from. Even if it should be auctioned at all, it should be given to government institutions, not private agencies or those they seize it from. From here, he will also be going to meet with the various MMDCs who are responsible in their district assemblies in making sure that these illegal miners do not encroach on their land, making sure that the lands are safe, and then people can go back to their normal duties, have cleaner and safer water.
Ina, thank you very much. Unless there's any other detail you'd like for us to have, we'll call it a wrap for now.
Okay, Gifty.
Natalia Kwansa, there's our correspondent in the Western region. Now, chairman of the Regional Security Council, who doubles as the Western Regional Minister, Dr. Kwabena Otredako-Mensah, in response, assures the minister of their readiness to help clamp down on all illegalities.
I want to use this special occasion of your visit to let you understand that for us, we give that mining and irrespective of all the rubbish that goes around it. We also want to assure you that we are really a voice to succeed with you to make sure that all the illegalities that come from our sector.
As the regional minister there interacting with Minister for Land and Natural Resources, Samuel Abu Jinapor. Let's get on Zoom now. I'm talking to President of the Concerned Small Scale Miners Association, Michael Kwejo Pipra. Mr. Pipra, thank you for your time. Let me just start with an update on the last conversation. The last time I had a conversation with you here on the show, you had indicated that you and your members were not invited to the stakeholders consultative meeting, and that you were going to reach out to the minister and find out, what conversation you can have on the back of it. I'm going to have a talk about what's happening right now, but that's by way of update. Has anything happened between when we last spoke and now? If you're talking, Mr. Pipra, you are muted. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me, please?
Perfect. Please go ahead.
We are waiting to meet the minister, and he knows bring on our expertise on board. So, as to when they will invite us, we'll make ourselves available.
Oh, well, when I had that conversation with you, you indicated that you would reach out to the minister. Were you able to do that?
We've done that. I think he's going to other regions. We'll meet him in Tapa very soon.
All right. So, a lot has been going on the mining front, including last week's directive from the sector minister that people who are prospecting, withdrawing the prospecting licenses from people who are doing such at the moment. Do you think this is a good move at this point?
As we can know, it's very, very good. I think it's a good move from the minister, because we're all against the destruction of our water bodies and our forest reserves. So if the minister think it's an agency, and for that matter, people need to get out of the forest reserve, I think it's a good.
How do you think by withdrawing prospecting licenses, we can deal with the problem of illegal mining?
People have acquired their necessary documents. I don't see any laws in this country that bars people from prospecting in the forest. If it is so, then there are a lot of questions to be answered. But then, as I can speak with you, I've seen people who have their prospecting license. There are bigger companies who are doing prospecting or having prospecting in various forest reserves in this country. So I don't see anything wrong or a law that frowns on prospecting in our various forest reserves. But then the distraction that comes with it is what we are all against. Because there's a saying, when the last tree dies, the last man also dies. So we need to make sure that our reserves are being protected from illegal mining activities.
Let's come to what the minority today has been demanding. The minority is saying that we need to have a list of all companies which are involved in this, mining and in prospecting, and to know for sure that these are the people doing this, and that the fact that their licenses have been withdrawn for now, it's not a move, so to speak, to withdraw some licenses and give some people, other people, licenses. Do you think that's also a part of the solution to the problem, knowing who is mining what?
In trying to solve the problem, I believe in transparency, because we don't actually know the number of licenses that has been given to companies to prospect in our various forest reserves. So if the minority calls on the minister to publish the names of companies who have been mandated to prospect in the various forest reserves, I think it's the right call that we all need to support.
As concerned, small-scale miners, what kind of conversation has been going on in your circles since this new minister took office and started with his program against illegal mining? What kind of things do your people say?
He just, resumed office not long ago. He's a fine minister. We're only praying that, we're only praying that he does the right thing that will bring about the results the country is also waiting for. Because we are all against the degradation of forests and then destruction of our water bodies as well. Because we can't sit in a country and sit aloof and watch how things go on in terms of mining. So I think the approach that he's using, I think it's not that bad. We are only praying that whatever he does will yield results. Because this is the first time a minister has tried to fight Galamsey. If you can recall, when Amewu was appointed the minister, he started like this, and then we didn't really know what happened, and it was changed. So we're only praying that you have a short-term, long-term, and a medium-term solutions for the problem, and in so doing, should be devoid of politics, and that is the only way we can win the fight against Galamsey.
It's very interesting, the point that you made, that this is how the former minister Amewu started, and it didn't end well. The point is that there are concerns that the small-scale mining that is going on right now is no longer small-scale mining. Apparently, people who claim to be doing small-scale mining are actually investing in heavy machinery and are causing a lot of damage to the water bodies. You are a president of small-scale miners, and to what extent is this true, and how difficult does that make the work of a minister in this position?
In the mining laws, if you read the Mining Act 2006, it doesn't state on which mechanism or which machinery you have to use in your small-scale mining concession. It says that any tool that you think is right, you can use it. So I don't see why, we always want to base our agitation or our emotions on people using excavators in their various concessions. What we should also understand as a country is mining comes with destruction. Not only small-scale mining, the large-scale mining also destroys various lands, water bodies and all. So when we get to understand that, I think that is when people would take off emotions from it, and then we will only make sure that those people doing the wrong thing will do the right thing. Ghana will benefit from this mining era, because mining is part of us. No matter what we think, or no matter how we say it, we can't stop mining in this country. But what we want to encourage is effective way of mining and the better methods people will use in mining. That will not bring a disadvantage to this country. That is all we are only praying for, that the right thing will be done. But then we are making this task a heckling one for the minister, because there are people who are put in charge to do the right thing. We've not heard of the EPA. We've not heard of the Minerals Commission. It's only the minister who is always going around trying to talk to people for them to do the right thing. So we are only praying that those put in charge of affairs will do the right thing so that the enforcement will be done and Ghana will benefit from this good era. Interesting.
Very interesting point you make. Regarding what you just said about the fact that there are no laws, determining what kind of equipment you can put there, does your association or your members in the association have a reclamation plan when it comes to mining? Do they, because the big organizations that you talk to, most of them, if not all of them, have reclamation plan where they reclaim the land and make sure that there are no open pits, they try to grow trees, etc. What is your members' reclamation plan when it comes to the way that you mine?
There's a lot of reclamation in this country. Sometimes the media doesn't really bring it up. In the mining laws, it states that before you leave your site, you need to make sure all your pits, you've covered them, and even if there are any streams that has been destroyed because of your activity, you need to correct them before you leave the site. It didn't state that maybe in so doing, make sure you cover the pit before you even start to work. But then, in a wisdom, you need to make sure you do the right thing. You don't always have to follow the law. If the law permits you to mine as many pits as you want and later you reclaim, at least common sense should also tell you that you don't have to wait till the last day before you do the reclamation. So every miner has his own reclamation procedure. But the most important thing is enforcement. That is what we are lacking.
Is there division in the front of the small-scale miners?
Division as in what?
Is there division? There used to be I'm sure they still exist. Help us understand those dynamics. The Small-Scale Miners Association, and then yours is the Concerned Small-Scale Miners Association. Is this the same group?
Oh, we are not the same group, but
exactly.
We all have the same goal.
Okay.
To make sure that our members have a mouthpiece, so that even if there should be any government that wants to infringe on our right, at least we have a mouthpiece that we can also be heard.
Very well. I just asked this question because I wanted to come to the end of this conversation by asking you about how without a stronger mouthpiece, for lack of a better expression, whether we can, or your association and your members can actually help the minister deliver on protecting our water bodies. That's why I asked if there is a division, because it used to be one Small-Scale Miners Association, but now as it is, we have two.
We have NAGRAS, we have NAT. Does it really derail them from their collective goal?
You tell me.
It doesn't really change anything. The most important thing is to make sure that, as an association, our members comes first. Now that I'm speaking as a president, I'm not speaking myself. Everything that we do collectively, we think about it, then we bring it out. And in so doing, some of the leaders, they pick points from what we are saying. Before, when we said that the stakeholders' engagement, they should have made the small-scale miners first, which they didn't. Now, the minister is going around trying to meet us. And I think it's good because you brought it up. And then they have also taken note of it. We are only praying that the right thing will be done. And small-scale miners, one way or the other, we can transform from small scale to maybe large scale. Because if you care to know, there's no Ghanaian who even owns 3% of these large scale companies in the country. So if a small-scale miner, through this association, can at least attain that height, it will be a plus for this country.
Okay. We wish you all the best, and we all hope to support the minister in this good cause. At the end of the day, this is our country, this is our natural resources, and it's up to us to protect it. So we all look forward to support the minister, and we hope that you and the other group as well will come together to be able to support the minister as well. Thank you very much for your time.
It's a pleasure.
That is Michael Pipra, Michael Prepra is the president of the Concerned Small-Scale Miners Association. Now, you need to understand the difference. There is a Small-Scale Mining Association, and then there is a Concerned Small-Scale Mining Association. You're watching The Pulse with me, Gifty and Dopia. It's been heavy at the beginning on illegal mining. We've gone to the Western region where the minister is touring, and we will take a very quick break. When we return, we'll tell you what the minority in Parliament is saying. Do stay. They're talking about COVID. They're talking, apart from illegal mining, of course, they're talking about COVID. We'll talk about that. Do stay with us.